This is a response to the video Why Sim Racing Gets Worse as You Get Better by Gamer Muscles videos. I actually wrote it down here and I was going to comment on his video itself, but I'm going to actually record and read it because I think it's going to be a little bit more valid. So here it is. Calling me a terrible person that wants to take away the fun of sim racing from my students is uninformed, offensive, and misleading. Although I agree with some points, I disagree with the central part of the topic, which is as your level goes up, the races become hyper sweaty, not particularly enjoyable racing. Wait a second, this doesn't make sense for me, since racing in itself is a competition. It's a sport. In competitions, people get out of their comfort zone. They want to get better, and that there is fun, a lot of fun in that. You can get used to being completely focused, and you even get a high out of it, which is the flow state, right? You're super sharp. You're thinking so much about those things that you forget about life in general. You're just in that zone, and that is the beauty of it. Of course, it is possible, yes, to enjoy less the experience if you bring some anxiety into it, or if you build this fear and you can't really deal with that. That's a mental thing that can happen, of course, for sure. But mostly, sweating because of a race is the very reason we love the sport. Learning more, getting more and more precise has increased the confidence of most of my high-level students, not decreased it. Actually, 2,000 to 4,000 iRating drivers are less confident than 5,000 plus drivers because they just went through the basics very well, but there's a long run until they finally click some main points in their technique that will find them around 0.04, 0.05 per corner, which is a whole bunch of time over a lap. The Dunning-Kruger effect showed this perfectly. You can fit the 2 to 4K racers right there in the lower part of the confidence area. Now, you said high-level drivers have nowhere to race. What? GT3 weekly SOFs are skyrocketing. Even on weekdays, you can get 5,000-6,000 SOF. The competition does not stop growing. There's more and more people, even from real life, joining the sim racing world, and the amount of high-level drivers there is just incredible. It's just like you can't really count. And there's absolutely always good competition for every level, for every driver. Next one, you said driver coaches in sim racing are terrible people. They're trying to make sim racing worse for you. Like, one big reason I keep coaching 24/7 is how more confident my students are, how they prevent bad habits that would make sim racing worse for them in the future, and how they develop autonomy to progress more quickly on their own. I do understand that many coaches just show you what they do. They just tell you what to do and don't really search for the root cause of your technique issues. But not everyone is like that. I really want to see what caused the little issue that the driver has, and I tell him what caused it. I go deeper in how he developed his technique before in the past, and then we finally figure out ways to solve the root cause of the problem instead of just telling my students, hey, brake later, hey, use more of the curb, hey, I never do that. I do that very rarely, but mostly I'm telling them how to figure out that on their own. I've received messages of people with serious personal issues, personal situations, telling me that our work together made their hobby a million times more enjoyable, and that even spilled on their other areas in life, making them happier overall. Like, how do you just get to this conclusion? Anyways, just to finish, I will repeat that. Calling me a terrible person that wants to take away the fun of my students is uninformed, offensive, and misleading.